indomitable. Like the trees that surround us, our roots run deep, our foundation strong. Our story has just begun, but our game has stood the test of time. This is a game of cities, a game of countries. This, my friends, is the world's game. A game played to the sound of chants, to the sound of anthems. This game is played to the sound of glory. We don't only cherish this game, we revere it. It is our heart, our soul, our everything. And although this game is for everyone, this club is ours. We are Sacramento. Indomitable we stand. For the Republic we stand.
It's another hot night in Sacramento, and for the 7th time in a matter of 2 weeks, Sacramento Republic FC back here at Bonnie Field. It's been a very productive week so far. They've played a few friendlies, not done so well. They're trying to get back on track, but after a great match, Orlando City was the last USL Pro match. Here they are once again, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in town this evening. Good, everybody. I'm Rob McAllister. Kevin Goldthwait along with me tonight. We saw 3 tough contests, the Rangers and West Brom for 2 back-to-back Monday and Friday, and I'll come up with the L, but guess what? Now you're back in USL Pro play where you've been playing very well, and here's a chance for Sacramento to really put a stamp on this season and continue up the ranks. They're currently in 4th place in the USL Pro standings after what we saw in Orlando a few weeks ago. It appears this team really has enough edge over many of the USL Pro squads, and this should be no different here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming in after the friendlies for the last few games, so it's going to be a different mentality out here tonight. Hopefully it's our last, well, it is our last game really in the homestand right now. Hopefully come out and get points as we push forward for that, the playoff push towards the end of the season here. So big match for Republic. End this homestand on a good note and get things off with a W here tonight.
And let's get to your starting lineups here as we begin this contest. A lot of shaking around over the last few nights because of the friendlies. Getting a lot of different guys some time in, time out, but it also gave Coach Preki an exact idea of what we can expect here. So the Sacramento Republic tonight, it will be Jake Gleason in the goal box. Jake making his 12th USL Pro start on the season. Emra Clementa, Mickey Daly, Nemanja Vukovic in the back, along with an addition for the first time ever, Chad Bartlome, typically a striker for this Republic squad. He is now playing the left back position. Well, more on thoughts on that in a few moments, but in the midfield will be Octavio Guzman, Steven Evans, Carlos Martinez, and Rodrigo Lopez. And up front, Tommy Stewart and Adam John. Meanwhile, for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Mike Lish, the goalkeeper, making his 12th start on the season. And he'll be staring at the backs of Matt Dullman, Andrew Marshall, Anthony Obadai, and Sterling Flunder as your fullbacks there, and Rob Vincent, Kevin Kerr, Danny Earls, Mike Green in the midfield, and the forwards Jose Angulo and Joseph Iwenya. And so you look at these 2 lineups, and what stands out right now is Chad Bartlome playing the left back position. Seems that Coach Preki didn't like what he saw over the last few weeks, and he's going to put a striker back there. Yeah, I definitely going to be putting an interesting call, interesting decision on Preki's front. And, with Jack's performance, I think, in the last game, really came on for about 7 minutes before he was subbed out. Which is something rarely see. Honest, in all my time of playing soccer, I don't think I've seen too many guys be subbed in the first half and then come out 7 minutes later. So it might just be, Preki kind of putting his foot down on that left back position, letting those guys know that what's been happening lately is not acceptable, and people and guys need to be better. So Bartlome playing back there, it's going to be interesting to see how he can perform back there. A naturally left-sided player, but not a defense mind at all. He's one of the guys that wants to score some goals, so he's put in the back, and it's going to be interesting to see how he performs tonight. Well, we saw early on in the season where Nemanja Vukovic was playing that left back position. He was allowed to really run up along the left side of the field all night long. It'll be interesting to see maybe not Chad Bartolome playing in a very similar role to what we saw the few for games of the season anyway.
Yeah, hopefully he's getting up and down the flank, get some service in the box, and work hard defensively. He'll be good in the air, which is going to be a big asset to that left side in the back. But once again, not his natural position, and hopefully he comes out and he's comfortable on the ball from the start.
And the team's taking the field right now with local children from the community in tow as well, and it will be Pittsburgh in the black, blue, and white uniforms, and of course it will be the Sacramento Republic in the maple, cherry red, and white tops tonight, but that black's going to be a little stellar. Triple digits here at Cal Expo, the final day of the California State Fair. It's going to be a warm night, should be even hotter down on the field tonight. And let's step down to the field now for our national anthem. It's a warm one here in Sacramento tonight, but we've been used to that over the last several weeks. Many of these games in the high 90s or triple digits, and it's no difference here tonight. A 7 o'clock start was supposed to be at 5:30, but because of the heat, they moved it back, and I think the fans appreciate it, especially those on the east side of this field here at Bonnie Field as they slowly work into their way into the metal bleachers. Another sellout crowd, 8,000 strong. Sacramento continuing to do this over and over, setting an attendance record for the USL Pro that was set by Orlando City just a season ago. But here we are in Sacramento, the first year the Republic playing in the capital city, and they have drawn crowds to the like of 20+ thousand, and then many times 8,000 here this evening. So up top, Adam John and Tommy Stewart. We haven't seen much of that pairing so far. We saw a little bit of it at Hughes Stadium, smaller pitch there. Now we're in a full-size field here. Maybe a little different, give them a little bit more room to breathe. Still waiting for that Adam John breakout game that we saw for the first two matches at Hughes Stadium. Yeah, he's going to come out strong. I like the pairing with Stewart and John up top. I think Stewart's the guy that's going to find the channels, make the runs over the top. John more of that target forward who's going to maybe hopefully get the ball, hold it up, take one or two touches, play it off and peel off. But hopefully Stewart's the one making those runs in behind the defense in the channel. So I like the pairing, and it's going to be good tonight. And here's the coin toss.
Head.
And so Dan Earls calls tails. It goes heads. Lopez says he'll defend the north end of the field. So they'll switch sides, something that the Republic have not typically done. They usually stick around on the south end, so maybe a little change up for Roro and company. But as we look ahead here, this is the first and only match between the two teams this season. And Republic looking to stay unbeaten here at Bonnie Field in USL Pro play, we should say. Now the Riverhounds hope to make it 3 wins in a row now. They've been on quite a streak as they are 3-4-3 on the road this year. Sacramento is 5-1-2 at home this season. Now it's been quite a hot streak for Pittsburgh. They started off very slow on the season. They really started to turn things around, and they're playing over 500 at this point in time. And this is not a team that's sitting at the 13th position in the standings. This is a much better team here. Sacramento better come out ready to play, Kevin. Yeah, you know, we've talked about it before in these games. It's when you really kind of catch these teams, what point in the season. And it seems right now Pittsburgh is really on a good set of play the last few games, on a little bit of a winning streak.
And it's just the way the chips fall right now with coming in. Looks like Pittsburgh's kind of firing on all cylinders. Hopefully Republic, they've been playing really well with the friendlies last week, but it's going to be a tough match tonight with how well Pittsburgh's been playing of late.
Well, let's set your lineup one more time in the goal box for Pittsburgh. Lish, the back four, Dahlman, Marshall, Obadiah, Flunder, and in the middle, Vincent, Kerr, Earls, and Green, and Gulu and Nguyen out the strikers for the Riverhounds. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, Gleason in the box, Clementa, Daly on the right side, Vukovic and Bartlome on the left. And then in the middle, Lopez, Evans, Guzman, Martinez, and John and Stewart. And Pittsburgh will start things off as Stewart, number 10, and Rodrigo Lopez, and we are underway. And Adam John coming out aggressive. We had him at halftime against West Brom and quickly sent things over. Pittsburgh looking to improve. They are 5-4-1 after their first 10 matches. They did not pick up a win. Now deep into the box, Pittsburgh looking to make a strong move here early. They are showing some aggressive play. Working deep, trying to pop it in. Vukovic will send it out, but still in trouble. Here's a shot on goal to the left outside by Vincent, and Gleason will watch it hit the advertising box, but Pittsburgh coming out very aggressive, not sitting back, seeing what the Republic are going to do here.
Yeah, you know, poor giveaway out of the back. And Gulo played forward really quickly on a little one-touch pass through. Looks like he's down right now. Looks like he might have got to take a knock, but playing up top with Nguyen. And Nguyen is a very, very talented and skilled forward as well. I might be playing out in the left, actually. But one of these guys has great MLS experience. In fact, he's got good European experience as well. I remember he was playing on the Galaxy just a very, very good quality player. Hasn't got on the score sheet, I think, at all this year, but it's one guy that we really need to kind of, be aware of at all times, because he's a guy that's going to get the ball and he can punish you when he has it.
Speaking of players to watch tonight, well, Rodrigo Lopez, 6 assists, 5 goals on the season. And Jake Gleason has just allowed 3 scores so far in his last 5 USL Pro appearances, and he recorded a shutout versus Orlando City, the first time Orlando City was shut out on the year. But it did happen again today as Rochester was able to pick up the win over Orlando City. So a big win there for the visiting team as finally Orlando falls. But those 2 players for Sacramento. Meantime, if you look on their side of the ball, Pittsburgh striker Jose Angulo has 8 goals this season, 4th most in the USL. And of course, midfielder Joseph Nguyen, who's playing up top today, and he has 5 assists. It's 5 of the 16 assists for this team. Those 2 guys will be very crucial. And Kevin, I know you have some experience with Nguyen.
Yeah, Nguyen, we were just talking about a minute ago. Just a very, very good forward, great attacking mind. Sometimes he'll play out and give the team width and kind of come in as soon as he gets the ball, but he's a strong player. And it looks like Angulo might be down today, which has got to be unfortunate for Pittsburgh as the reigning MVP for USL. Looks like he's not going to be able to make it here. Took a knock on the first play, it seemed like, and here he is. Looks like he's going to need some treatment.
And Rodrigo Lopez going out to check him out. That would be a devastating blow. And so now they are warming up, and he is probably going to be done for the day. So just 3 minutes into this contest here, if that, and he is already down. It really happened in the first moment of play there, and he's hobbling off. And I don't know if he took one to the knee or something, but they're definitely going to have a substitution here. It looks like it'll be Johnny Ortega, and so the Colombian national will replace.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Pittsburgh to be dealt that blow this early in the match, but Ortega's a very, very skilled player as well. Obviously losing the form of the reigning MVP, it's a big loss, but you know what, Ortega's got some big boots to fill, but I think he can do so tonight. And see how he kind of gets himself accustomed to the game. It's always tough. We saw Jack Avasian last game come in the first few minutes, and if you're not ready mentally, it takes you about 10, 15, 20 minutes to get yourself into the groove here. So we'll see what Ortega can do coming in. But unfortunate once again for Pittsburgh to be dealt that blow.
Well, he is not only the reigning MVP, but 8 goals this season. And one thing that they've been able to do in the last several weeks is score goals. That's what they've been so good at, and able to get back on track here, climbing up the rankings. They're just 3 points out from making the playoffs, even though they're in the 13th position in the standings. A nice ball to Adam John. Adam John trying to leak it out for Stewart, looking also maybe for Martinez, who's running the left side. A little too hard, too strong on the floor. But Sacramento want to see come out a little bit sharper this time. We saw West Brom, a different 11 in the mix there. Not the best game that we've seen the Republic play this season, and it'd be interesting to see how they come out now. Here's no more excuses, top 11 USL Pro match, and it's time to go.
Yeah, we were talking to Preki after the match last game, and he didn't seem too upset with how his team performed on Friday night, which is good. I think he's taken the whole picture as a whole with the game on Monday night and the game on Friday night. And overall, I thought Republic probably played pretty well. And, you know, if you would have told them before the week that that's what the results were going to be, I think they would have been pretty happy with that. So here we are with a new fresh 11 coming in.
Well, this team played so well against West Brom on Monday night, a 1-0 defeat. Ended up being a penalty kick that scored. It was Dorans who sent one into the net against Gleason. Gleason only playing a half that match. So 45, and he was out, Jakovic coming in. But a 3-1 defeat on Friday night, and here we are on Sunday in triple digits, much warmer tonight again.
Yeah,
Sacramento
hopefully they can kind of carry that momentum back from that Monday night game. These guys playing here today were the majority of the line on last Monday, so they've got a good solid 6 days of rest. Should be kind of coming out here firing all cylinders, and hopefully that momentum carries over from that game into this game with that good play. The last 60 minutes of that game against West Brom, I think Republic played real well, and unfortunate not to at least get a draw of that. I think Tommy Stewart had 1 or 2 decent chances that, I think he would have thought that he should have put those away, and I think we'd agree with that. But once again, it was a good game, and hopefully the momentum carries over here tonight.
Adam John looking to break on the right side. Here's Clementa, he'll come up. Those 3 in the back, Clementa. There's John making a nice move. He's trying to turn the corner. Back out to Roro. This is Roro's sweet spot. And he'll concede it and give it up.
That's where you want John in the box. So when Roro puts his head up there's a great ball.
Here's Daly with a nice move. One more pass, too many. Daly back again, looking for Stewart with a header. Goal, Sacramento! Lish wanted an offside, won't get it. Perfectly played by Daly, who found Stewart. It looked like he tried to do something similar just moments before, found the sweet spot, and great off the chest trap. And then into the net, the second chance on the head. And there it is, 1-0.
Good finish, good solid work going forward. Looks like, Pittsburgh's a little bit out of sorts right now. And you see Daly stepping up, putting a good ball into the box to Stewart. And there it is as he just puts it over keeper's head, over Lish's head. And so great quality finish. And we've talked about this before. Republic's conceded these goals usually early in the match in this unfortunate times. And great to see us get on the front foot, get a goal early, take our chance when we have it, get the goal in there, and keep moving forward. I love to see that when you get that chance, when you're given it, to just absolutely grab that off the ground. So great finish by Stewart. Here we are up 1-0.
In the 7th minute, a header. Going back to that, we saw Daly unselfishly try to get it to Stewart, couldn't get it, and then got it to him. He took it off the chest, put it back down, and then a second ball headed into the net. A beautiful play by Sacramento, who's now on the run, and the momentum feeling in their direction.
That was Daly and John up top, just being scrappy, working hard, not giving up on the play. I think Daly's first ball in might have been blocked.
And that's off the hand there, a little handball. So back to Pittsburgh it goes. So Pittsburgh trying to turn their season around, and this would be a very big win for them if they can pull this out here tonight as they try to turn things. They really started off slow, ended up having to change coaches, and their one of their fullbacks, Nikola Kedic, considered now a player coach, not on the playing roster tonight, but they're 5-6-2 since he took over. And he's going to get, of course, Coach Brecky, who's a '98 World Cup participant with the U.S. men's national team. So definitely a different resume between the two. But they let go of a pretty long-standing player here as the Sacramento Republic go on the attack and is sent out of play. But they make that coaching change, Kevin, and you take over in the 7th coach now, Justin Evans, was the longest tenure coach. He was let go on May 19th, and Evans, a former player, played over 100 games for them, 14 goals. He was #1 draft pick. I mean, this guy was the face of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds franchise. And another slow start, and they said they'd had enough, and they had to go to a new direction.
Yeah, it's a slow start. Anytime that you're in charge of the club and you got a slow start, your job's going to be on the line. And it looks like what we got going on now with Kedic coming in.
Here's Clementa on the end line, looking for a teammate. Bart LeMay streaking.
With Kedic coming in, doing a good job. I think it's just a nice breath of fresh air for these guys, the Riverhounds. And I think obviously with what they've done in the last 5-6 games shows that Kedic's done some pretty good stuff for the club.
Pittsburgh beat Real Salt Lake Reserves Friday night 5-2. So this is a team that can score. Meanwhile, the last USL Pro for Sacramento was Orlando City in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, that was we had Angulo with a hat trick in that game against Salt Lake. So once again, who's going to score goals for Pittsburgh here tonight? And Gueñas should be the guy with Ortega making some chances. But here we go, another counterattack for Republic.
There's Lopez, John, pausing it. Pulling it out to the right, looking for Stewart. Misplayed it, sends it too far. Now Stewart's in the corner. Nice left foot. And into the sun. Lish tries to make a play for it. Sacramento still fighting. Lish comes out, able to pick it up.
Yeah, Lish looks like he's got some Butterfinger hands. I mean, those are two bobbles there, which should be pretty routine for a keeper. And kind of got bailed out. I like John's effort going up with Lish, making it difficult for him.
That sun is so brutal there. As he puts it on the ground, clears it away. And Kevin, it's interesting to see so far, Sacramento has been so aggressive. I don't know if we've seen them quite come out like this. They're more physical tonight. I got to give credit to West Brom for letting them play this way. I mean, they maybe picked up a few things.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I think the momentum from that game, some confidence might have been built knowing that these guys, for 60 minutes, that's a great ball in.
Great straight. Lish comes out
just a little heavy,
in time.
A little heavy there. But yeah, the confidence, I think the guys are thinking, I'm sure Preki and the coaching staff is talking to their players, letting them know that you held your own against an EPL side for a good 45 to 60 minutes. So coming out here tonight, looks like they're playing pretty confidently and moving the ball well here in the first 10 minutes.
They are really sending it over the top, Tom Stewart.
But this is a time, Rob, you know, if you're given these chances and given this ability to move forward kind of at will with what we've seen here, is let's see if we can get another one, sneak another one while we can before Pittsburgh really settles in.
Lopez looking for John. Tommy Stewart shields it away. Back to Guzman. Get it going. Little leak out for Clementa, the foot race. And Gueña able to get there in time, and they'll save it. So Pittsburgh able to get back, but Pittsburgh struggling. Looks like a little heat. The sun maybe getting them a little bit. Sacramento's been playing in this for a few weeks.
Pittsburgh's body language doesn't look very aggressive and positive right now. 10 minutes in, it's going to be a long match unless they figure something out here. But once again, first time these two clubs have played each other this year, so maybe a little bit of feel-out period on their end to try to figure out exactly what Republic's going to be doing, how aggressive they are. And fortunate for us, during that time, we picked up a quick goal.
Great ball, header. Daly on the assist, and Tommy Stewart. Tommy Stewart's 6th goal on the season. That's at the top of the team.
Another thing I want to see here tonight is I want to see John stay in the middle of the park. Typically, he kind of finds himself drifting out wide with the ball. And when services are coming in, John needs to be the guy in there, busting his butt, trying to get some good runs near and far post. But I want to see if he has the ability to have the chance and the maturity to know that that's his strength, his size and his strength in the box. So let's see if he can stay in the box, and hopefully when there are some chances and some balls served in, he's the one trying to put his head on it.
So some changes. That back four, we've seen Clementa, Daly, and Vukovic for the majority of these USL Pro matches really seem to have settled in those positions. And I mean, no one's position is settled all season long, but Chad Bartlome gonna have a little bit of a test tonight, but just how well we've seen Daly and Vukovic. Now, Daly in 18th week was on the USL Pro team, and that was for basically a big part of that Orlando City match. These guys have really been able to set the tone and probably give the midfielders and the forwards really some confidence knowing they can take some chances.
Absolutely.
We're in the 14th minute. Sacramento up by 1 over the top. That's going to be offside. Not even close as Ngueña makes a good run at it, but Ngueña's speed is going to be a little bit of a factor. And we know we've seen Daly come up a little bit. Him and Vukovic managed to keep an eye on number 13.
Yeah, and it's tough with it. It looks like Ngueña's playing out wide on the left, so he's not necessarily playing up top. So when with Daly and Vukovic, sometimes he's not going to be accounted for. So it's really going to be Clementa's job to see what Ngueña is doing. If he's tucking in, and if he is, he's got to be vocal and communicate with his center backs and let them know that there's some trouble sneaking in. So in my mind, it's really Clementa's got to be the one that's going to be responsible for where Ngueña is and what Ngueña is doing.
It was Bartlome who ran into Andrew Marshall. Picked up the foul, but there's that speed from Bartlome, being that he's typically a striker, comes out of the back and able to really push things forward for Sacramento.
Yeah, you know, an interesting decision. We talked about it with what Preki did, having Bartlome playing a left back position. He's got Delbridge on the bench. Vukovic can also play left back. Delbridge can stay in the middle maybe. So, I mean, there were some options. This isn't necessarily out of panic and sheer necessity. It seems like that's just Precky's decision. He did have options. So, interesting call. And so far, Bartlomé's done well. Left back, you see he's playing real high when we have the ball, which I love to see. Caddick barking orders on the bench over there. Looks like he's trying to get his guys to keep the ball a little bit. You know, soft foul over here.
And there's Flunder. Chance for Pittsburgh here. And the referee tonight is Tyler Ploger. I know we've seen those water breaks too. I imagine we'll probably see one here tonight. Early start time, a lot of guys wiping the sweat off their brows. I mean, it is definitely warm out here
We're
tonight.
wiping the sweat off our brows up here. It's hot today.
And we're in the shade. I feel bad for those
that
on the east
that
end.
East end's got to be getting baked right now.
Here's a
great
set
ball in.
into the box. Gleason watches it to the end line. Dahlman with a header.
Dahlman served that in. It looked like Arteaga got on the end of it. I think Arteaga should have done a little bit better with that. He could have even maybe taken a touch, brought it down. Fairly had a bit of space, which is kind of concerning for Republic. Who's marking up? Who's responsible for Arteaga there? But fortunately, it sails wide and get a goal kick, and we're moving forward here.
New direction here for Pittsburgh. They came out very aggressive, but within the first minute, lost Jose Angulo. Changed the look of this match here tonight.
John, get in the box, man. See him drifting out. There he goes. Get yourself in the box.
And so for Pittsburgh, they've been on the defense now. They're gonna wait for these counters, see if they can make something happen. Maybe a Republic mistake. Didn't happen there. Clementa working on the right point. Guzman just floats it over the top. Tries a little chip shot.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. A one-touch little quick ball, a little flick to the back post. Looks like John and Stewart hadn't recycled their runs just yet, but a good idea by Guzman. I like that, to be thinking quick. I love the one-touch ball in the box. But obviously, you need to have Stewart and John be able to recycle those runs after the initial, come back out, get their shoulders right, and start attacking the goal again. And unfortunately, it looked like they were just a little bit slow getting back around.
So Nikola Kadek, he was a player, fullback for this team, and became kind of a player coach, but he's just 28 years old. He joined the team in 2009 and went to Illinois Central College, originally from Croatia. But I mean, he's getting, I guess,
it's a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity. Great opportunity for him here. And I think what he's done the last 5 or 6 games shows that he's got these guys' trust. And that's kind of the first piece of the puzzle, especially coming from a player coach. I mean, it's just a totally different relationship you're going to have with your club now.
And I would say, how does that typically, I mean, it's your guy as your teammate, and all of a sudden now he's giving you a couple of orders.
Yeah, I think it shows the manager's strength maybe as a player, and what sort of respect he had from the guys. It's a tough little fine balance that you got to have with it now. And do you really kind of separate yourself from the players, as now you're in that, you know, the leadership role, making decisions on lineups. It's a tough thing to do, and I think so far what he's done a really good job of getting the team's respect and getting the guys behind him and getting some results.
Sacramento needs to start spacing out a little bit. They stick it on the line. Daly's looking over the top for Tommy Stewart. Stewart just couldn't get to it, looking for a foul. Over to chase it down is Marshall. But Sacramento scoring that goal early has changed things, and Coach Precky and this club facing some pretty tough tests. Rangers.
Good step by Roro there.
Saturday, and then West Brom, and then West Brom again. Did not pick up a victory, but playing against some of the top teams in the world. And you just see a different step, a little bounce in this Republic team tonight. They're a little more physical. They're going to be the aggressors, and they're the 4th place team taking on maybe the 13th place team. They should be, but this is a Pittsburgh team that's been playing very well.
Yeah, like we talked about, momentum and confidence from those West Brom games. Coming out, scoring a goal early. Looks like they got a little bit of swagger in their step right now, which is nice.
It's good to see Jake Gleason striking the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
He's been hampered by a groin issue for a lot of this season, and good to see him out there in the box again
Yeah,
tonight.
I'd like to see him maybe take a little bit off that, obviously, but it's good to see him with a full strike of the ball. No grimace, no limp afterwards, so hopefully it stays that way through the rest of this game here tonight.
Ortega and Daly. Looks like we'll have a corner here. And we do have a couple of players out this evening as well for the Republic as we set up for this corner here for Chive for yellow card accumulation, along with Ivan Murkovic. And then Max Alvarez for that red card. It was elbow thrown during Orlando City. Alvis Powell, Chad Bond, Justin Braun, and Gilberto all out with injuries. And Chad Bond with that gruesome kick. Here's the corner. Good ball in. Out comes Gleason. And we saw that Chad Bond went down, and Ichibi just in horror ran away from Chad Bond and a dislocated toe. And
yeah.
Those do not feel good.
No, and it's going to be, you know, sometimes those are a lot worse than you think, and they're just nagging injuries. Sometimes you can be back in 2 weeks. Just depends on the severity of it. And I'm sure he's been to get checked out, but it's just one of those that he just gets stood on by an Ichibi who's probably about 225 pounds. Can't feel good. And kind of unfortunate for Bond getting a go against West Brom, and it might have happened in about the 20th minute or so. So had to come out. We saw him after the game in crutches, just not looking like he was the happiest player or person in the world, really.
Much different than when Jake Gleason got hit in the face and had stitches, and he seemed to be fine. I think you can deal with cuts. It's when the legs are something that you have to be able to be working well, and a dislocated toe is not something that
you're not
going to be able to get back
You're not going to be mobile after that.
Well, make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. You can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro as well. Setting it up here is Dahlman. Dahlman with that right foot sends a nice ball into the middle.
That's a good ball in. Kind of dropping,
uses his head.
Dropping right on that penalty spot, but well defended, well dealt with by Republic there.
Keep an eye on him. Throw in. Again, Republic losing sight of it. Martinez settling it is Flunder.
John, that's a
blown for the whistle is John.
A little bit too aggressive there. There's no need to foul. You don't want to give away set pieces in this area. So far, Dahlman's been pretty solid with his right foot serving these balls in, so this is going to be a decent chance. I'm sure Pittsburgh's going to be on the front studs thinking maybe they can try to sneak one back here quickly, but it looks like they've settled down a little bit. Here we are in the 20th minute, and maybe that first 10 minutes, 15 minutes was really kind of their feel-out period. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh and fortunate for us, we got a goal.
The referee, Tyler Bloger, giving Adam John a very stern warning. Dahlman again. Headed high. This one could be trouble. Jake Gleason using his size and his leaping ability to make a play, and likely saving a good shot on goal as in the neighborhood was Earls.
Yeah, Gleason coming in, sacrificing his body, comes out, grabs it, a little bit of contact, does a good job to kind of hold on to that. $8,000 strong here tonight, sold out tickets, but I think a lot of them are sticking around, maybe in the fun zone, staying away. This ball way into the crowd. Yeah, Gleason doesn't need to use his laces there. Maybe just put his inside of his foot through the back of the ball, clear that first line.
Pittsburgh now deep in. Flunder the throw. Pittsburgh just hasn't been able to get their offensive passes, have just been off. Haven't really been able to find a receiver. Tommy Stewart looking for a call. Pittsburgh running. A little out of sorts, but they're pushing. Little dump off. Good chance. Good look. And saving a shot on goal is Nemanja Vukovic.
Yeah, great tackle by Vukovic coming in. And Guenya should do better with that. Looked like it was bumping around right between his feet. Couldn't pull it out to get a shot with his left foot. But guys need to track the runners in that situation. And Guenya runs freely and looked like there might have been Clementa, Roro might have been involved there. But guys need to follow their runners. Don't just simply tune out when the ball gets played across the face there.
Tough ball in, too. As you can see, each one of the guys holding up their hands, trying to shield the sun. This might be a good chance for Dom to just try to put it right into the net. He goes, and he gets one in there, but great play by Gleason. It's exactly what he tried to do.
That was a dicey little play for Gleason to come out.
Great throw out. Martinez trying to track. Obadai beats him to it. Martinez is a guy playing so many different positions this year. I mean, he's down here out really in for Max Alvarez, but he's been called on a few times. We've seen him on the right, seen him on the left, and he's able to play a couple different positions.
Right, seen him in the back, seen him in the midfield. I'm sure he can play up top as well. Just shows his skill and his quality, but you know, having an asset like that, somebody that can play so many different positions, is a very nice piece of the puzzle to have for Preki. And something that someone I compare him to would be Jeff Cameron. When Jeff Cameron first came into the MLS for Houston, he was playing darn near every position on the field and did a very, very good job at it. And with Stoke right now in the EPL, he plays a few different positions, but for the most part, his first few years in the MLS, I tell you, he was just a beast to deal with wherever he was playing. So I'm sure when Dominic Kinnear in Houston had him, it was a great piece of their puzzle and something good, kind of an insurance policy to know that you have a solid player at any position when needed.
And when guys can play multiple positions, there's probably more minutes for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Gives them more opportunity to be put into the team.
Well, perfect example tonight is Chad Barlamay getting a chance at that left back position, looking over the top, a little chipper over to Tommy Stewart. Stewart shielding.
So now John needs to keep moving.
Barlamay tried to just squeeze it in between the defenders and packing it in on that left side. It's been a little bit of a problem for the Republic tonight. We've seen where the 7 black jerseys have been able to just distort it. On the right side, it's been a different story.
Yeah, here's Nguyen. See what he can do one-on-one. We got a streaker coming on the overlap.
It's going to be Flunder. Softball in, Gleason out.
Yeah.
Gleason on the season allowing 1.16 goals against average. He's allowed 12 on the season, 32 saves, 6-2 and 2 as a keeper. Meanwhile, Lish 1.30.
Poor giveaway again. Look at that.
Guzman's got to come all the way out. Makes a good play on it. Lopez into the midfield.
Yeah, that was Martinez with a sloppy giveaway.
Great ball. Running is Arteaga. And now Daly is holding his right ankle.
Yeah, good tackle by Daly. Hopefully he's able to walk this off there. But it's a good job staying with Arteaga, dealing with him. Concedes a corner, but decent work there by Daly. He's been a solid performer all year. I don't think he's really had a poor game, which is something as a player you look back on the season here just after the halfway point, and to think how solid I think Daly's played all year is a testament to Daly and the looks, and hopefully he'll continue here as we push forward for the rest of the season.
He's had some tough assignments. This corner low. Tried it up and over the top. Bartolome takes one to the face and goes down, and Adam John wants a card thrown. And Jake Gleason has a few words as well, and I'm telling you, he took one right into the eye. I believe it was Arteaga.
Someone might have been trying to throw a bicycle kick there.
And Chad Bartolome, tough, the 31-year-old from Grass Valley, California. Quick throw in, here we go. Here's Kerr. Guzman wins the physical battle. Guzman, that size and strength, very young, but you know when he can figure it out, put it all together, he's going to be a dangerous force in that midfield. He's been so able to control it so many times, really get that ball back into the offense, get them moving.
His personality out there, he's pretty quiet, it seems like. Now Bartolome
taking a chance.
It's a tough, yeah, that's a risky move there.
And there comes a little bit of experience playing that position, but where's Rodrigo Lopez?
Absolutely, I mean, the experience of that position, you know, you got to be pretty conservative. If you're going to take that step, you got to absolutely make sure you're going to get a touch on that ball. And fortunately, we got Roro covering. But Guzman, you know, kind of coming into his own here in the last few weeks we've seen. I'd like to see him get a little bit more bite to his game and
Dahlman throw in, and now we're going to continue a Pittsburgh assault. Holding was Vukovic, no call.
Good job by Bartolome there for a solid defensive play. But seeing him come in, take a little bit out of Mirkovic's book and how Mirkovic plays, which Mirkovic kicks a lot of people. He really does. And I like to see Guzman go out there, be a little bit more physical as that kind of holding midfielder. That's one of the big parts of their game, is the guy that kind of enforcer in the middle of the park. Kind of go in there and, you know, take a chance, kick some people, get dirty, get your nose stuck in.
Little tap from Stewart, who is shoved down. Whistle blows. Republic will set it up. Tommy Stewart's been taking a beating tonight, and they have zeroed in on him, and Obadai has been the enforcer.
Yeah, days like this, nights like this, when it's this hot, everything feels a little bit worse. It's a little harder to get up off the ground.
Sacramento trying to stay perfect here at Bonnie Field, and Vukovic goes down, and he takes one to the face, and the Republic still pushing forward. Stewart toward the net, a diving save by Lish.
Yeah, Stewart looks surprised there at how much time he's going to have. Was able to turn, take a few touches, a good ball, a good strike with the left foot. Lish with a pretty decent save out for a corner kick, and here we go. This is where we have been aggressive and dangerous all season.
And it seems
Here's the replay.
on this right side.
Yeah, good save there by Lish getting down on his left.
It seems on this right side, the Republic are having much more success than they are on the left side. Almost that the left backs for Pittsburgh are losing concentration for that brief moment. Here's Rodrigo Lopez. Evans walking into the box. Ball is sent low, a low header. Vukovic almost had a great look there.
Yeah, he did have a good look. Didn't get enough on it. Looked like he might have just flicked it just a little bit too lightly. Good run forward, good run across the goal face. That's the run you want to see from one of your center backs making that run, trying to get his head on the ball. Unfortunately, doesn't put it on target, but a good ball in, good run.
Vukovic from Montenegro, 6'3", 29 years old. Played around the world a little bit. First club in Montenegro last season. Played in Greece 3 years before that. Adam John now in the middle of the park. Doesn't have numbers, he retreats. Now looking for Tommy Stewart to foot race. Stewart wins it. Into the box, a left foot, shot on goal, sent wide far post.
Great ball by Martinez, sending in Stewart. Stewart takes a few touches. I thought he was going to cut back on his right foot there. Decides to go with a shot with his left foot. Looks like he cuts across the ball a little bit too much and goes out for a goal kick. But great ball in by Carlos Martinez there. It's good vision, good execution there with properly weighted pass. Sending Stewart in on goal.
And when those midfielders seem to make those passes and it's right on target, it really puts a lot of pressure on that back goalkeeper. And Sacramento wasn't able to do that against West Brom, starting to have a little bit more success here tonight against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and you notice how many times Stewart gets sent in one-on-one with the goalkeeper or maybe one-on-one with one of the last defenders. I think it shows the quality of runs that Stewart makes and always making himself available as an option. Look at him now. Look, see him just on his front studs there. There he is.
Put on a clinic. Great passing. Evans started it. Now to Roro, and here's Tommy Stewart. Tommy Stewart, little chip into the net. He's got two on the night. Sacramento takes a 2-0 advantage here in the 33rd minute.
Yeah, that's just a striker's goal there. He's tiptoeing the offside line. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Gets himself onside, finds it forward, and an absolute phenomenal finish. Pure class there. Little dink with the left foot as the goalkeeper. Goalie doesn't even go down, just goes right over his head. Great finish. Right in the back of the net. I tell you, that's a tough ball, and it takes some guts and gusto to be able to do that rather than simply blast it. Nice composure on the ball, little dink with his left foot, finds that back post. Quality finish there. Good run forward as well.
And if you watched all the way back, it was right here. Evans did not stop fighting for it, nearly gave it up twice. Went that extra moment, got it. Guzman sent it over the middle. Martinez was able to find Roro to Tommy Stewart. And now the Republic back again. Here comes Tommy, looking for a hat trick. Out comes off his line is Lish. And what a...
They're out of sorts right now, Pittsburgh. They're giving the ball away on a kickoff. I don't think I've ever seen that. And it's Tommy Stewart making another good run. Gets sprung forward, I think, by John playing it over the top. A little bit too heavy a touch by Stewart there. But once again, he's on his front studs, being active. And just going back to the runs that he makes. I think he makes the correct runs. He's always available.
Lets that one sail through, but
and I think that's the education that Stewart has, probably growing up playing soccer from day one, as soon as he came out of the womb, probably. But it's a quality that is hard to teach to be able to make those runs, and Tommy Stewart does a great job at doing so.
Tommy Stewart looking like the hero right now, but it's really been a team effort. I mean, he's been given some great balls and good chances. His speed, using it. He's just been floating out there and still not picking them up. It's almost like Pittsburgh sitting in the zone a little bit. They may want to rethink that strategy, Kevin.
Yeah, they're going to need to be aware of where Stewart is pretty much at all times now.
Martinez Fighting with Vincent. Vincent trying to turn it downfield. Guzman. Little shuffle. Evans. I think maybe looking for Adam John here. But
yeah, it's like John wasn't really expecting that. Good idea by Evans there to kind of play that ball through. Maybe a little bit too far out of John's reach.
It's been a festive atmosphere here. The Tower Bridge Battalion hasn't had a whole lot to cheer about the last week or so. Orlando City was a very fun match. It ended in a draw, but no score. And they're just a little bit louder here tonight against a team from the Steel City. The Riverhounds taking on the Republic. Tommy Stewart with 2 goals here in the first 45. Gleason hasn't seen much action at all, which is a good thing.
Always a good thing.
Goalkeepers think are okay with it. Handball called there. But interesting enough is when we said 2 players to look out for, Lopez and Gleason. Well, Tommy Stewart wasn't on that list, and he was tied with Roro with 5 goals leading the team. But just like that, he's a distance himself. 7, an easy giveaway by the Republic.
Yeah, Roro there taking too many touches on the ball, getting himself caught. But look at getting back defensively, working hard. I love seeing when players, if you're the one giving the ball away and you're the one busting your butt back and you win the ball, I love seeing players do that. Good effort by Roro. He puts his hand up and acknowledges that he knows he's just taking too many touches in the middle of the park there.
Coach Pracky talking to Clementa here on the sideline as well. Coach Bracky's got to be thrilled the way his team is playing right now. They're just to see on point, and they are in sync with each other. I think that's the one thing we didn't really see in the last few weeks, even though they played very well against Orlando City. They are just on the same page tonight.
Oh.
They call a whistle back. That could have been another easy shot on goal for the Republic as Tommy Stewart was streaking.
Tommy Stewart again making a good run. Vukovic sees him streaking, tries to play quickly, but it looks like the ref was having a word with one of the midfielders over there. It looks like Danny Earls was maybe giving him a talking to. So unfortunately, ball's being brought back, and we'll restart it here. But a good effort. I like guys being aggressive and taking that chance, trying to kind of catch Pittsburgh off guard a little bit there.
And you wanted to see Tommy Stewart be the one flying around. Adam John maybe sitting around the park a little bit. Well, we've seen that to be the case, and it's allowing Stewart to get open. Here's Stewart again. They're just leading him today. He is on one.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling good right now. This is always a fun part in the game. And, you know, it's 35, 36 minutes in, you score 2 goals. You start taking a little bit more chances, try to do a few more things you normally wouldn't do. But I think it's going to be fun to watch him for the rest of the game, the next, 55, 60 minutes to see if he does some fun things. Maybe, like we talked about, maybe wouldn't be doing normally in games here.
Bartlett made a throw in to Martinez. Martinez not able to handle it. But on to the 38th minute here. 2 Tommy Stewart goals is separating here. Along with Kevin Goldthwait, I'm Rob McAllister. We appreciate you tuning in here on a Sunday evening. USL Pro match. Pittsburgh, Sacramento. Sacramento currently in 4th place. Pittsburgh hanging around 13th. They're trying to work their way into the playoff picture after a very rough start. The first 10 matches did not pick up a victory. Made a coaching change. Now they've got to make a big change in this ball game as well. This is a big test for them. They played Orlando City well, their very first match of the year. A draw with the Lions, but this is a different animal. Sacramento had played so well in USL Pro games going into Orlando, and they're playing just as well here tonight. Clementa's going to go the whole way.
I think Republic looks really organized tonight. You see him picking off a lot of passes, kind of covering the lanes, covering the channels, covering the gaps really nicely tonight. Just good to see, and that's, I think, Precky's organization and Precky's style of play, which is really shown right here in the last few minutes. Guzman's got to look over his shoulder there and know he's going to have pressure.
Tommy Stewart finding Roro. The captain back to Stewart. Clementa's just shoved, stays on his feet. Lopez maybe trying to get a corner here. On the run, here's the counter. And Guenya, he's going to have to step up for Pittsburgh tonight.
Roro doing a good job defensively, getting back again.
With Angulo out, Nguyen becomes their top man. He has 5 assists on the season, but no goals yet. But as you noticed, he's been playing more in the midfield than he has as a striker. He sits back again tonight. Here on this play, Pittsburgh just can't seem to advance it. Little dump off here. Now they're turning to the corner. Here's Earls. Earls pauses. A bender toward the box. Bartolome misses the header and will track it down as he runs out with Dahlman.
Yeah, Bartolome does just enough there to make it difficult, and good job tracking the ball down and keeping it. You know, the clearance, rather than just clearing it out, keeps the ball, which is always great to see.
Tommy Stewart still putting on that pressure.
Yeah, Tommy's chasing. He's all over the place right now.
Adam Jong gonna get into the face of Lish. Offside call. Well, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. DVR, chat, and social media, all part of the deal. Subscribe for free. Nothing better than that. And each and every match shown right here. Sac Republic website as well. And you can watch it anytime. You can go back and watch any match. That's the one thing we love about soccer. No matter where you are, if you have some Wi-Fi connection, Kevin, you can dial it in. You could be on vacation. I know you were in Hawaii a few weeks ago, able to tune into the match. And
yep.
Doesn't matter what time. You know what? Kids are crying. Push up pause and come watch a little bit later. Guzman floating. Stewart there. John trailing. Roro getting aggressive. Roro's going to send one to the net. Saving play by Lish. Bender into the box, nobody there. Lish gets it back off the chest of a teammate. Didn't look like Roro's shot maybe had a chance anyway, but an athletic move by Lish nonetheless.
Good cross in. Guzman's on the, or Martinez is on the back post, picks it up, serves it back in. No runs are made. Stewart was on the back post, decides not to make that run.
Arteaga dancing with it. Arteaga came in for Angulo. Bartolome nearly gets beat, but Gleason able to come out. Well, the Riverhounds, also known as the Hounds, and the name coming from River Dog, is that's what the Pittsburgh barge workers are known as. So they paying a tribute to the blue-collar workers in their town, in Steel City. And if you notice on screen, Kevin, there's a little bit of a blue, a dark blue on the collar of their jerseys, and that's to represent the blue-collar workers.
Yeah, they're taking the literal approach there, I think, with that.
Catching on there?
I am, yeah.
That Notre Dame education is really coming in handy tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It's a warm one tonight, though, as the field almost fully shaded now. And it was brutal for the goalkeepers in the first few moments, trying to watch balls coming from the corners or the west side of the field, but getting a little bit better temperature, not dipping very much. We are in 99 degrees right now. No breeze to speak of. Typically, it's what we get along here. There are some great nights at Hughes Stadium, and man, it has been a different story here at Bonnie Field. The hot weather in Sacramento. This Republic team just, I think, used to it now. They expect to be playing in triple digits.
Yeah, it gets hot. No Delta breeze coming in. Flags on the flagpoles are dead quiet. Make sure they hydrate. That's all you can really do.
Pittsburgh trying to attack again. They'll give it up. Each time Pittsburgh makes a move, seems Sacramento's right there. If it's not Vukovic, it's Daly. If it's Clementa, even Bartolome. I mean, someone is stepping up each and every time for the Republic. Evans, Guzman in the middle. I mean, it's really been a team effort tonight.
You know, they're looking like that well-oiled machine, really. I think it's the organization so far. Vukovic, Daly, Evans sitting right in front of him, doing a good job. So it's fun to see right now, and I think Precky's prepared the team nicely for what we're seeing right here is Roro streaking down. But this is exactly what you want to see. You know, you want to see this day in and day out, and I think it's what Precky does at practice day in and day out. He instills this sort of style of play with his guys. And here's the results of seeing these guys well organized tonight. So far, so good. You know, the big thing also is you get a night like tonight when it's so hot. How can you do this for 90 minutes? It's easy to do for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But once you start getting in the second half, as the game progresses on, can you stay organized and can you stay tuned in for that entire game.
And as a player, trying to regulate your own body and stuff, and they're trying to get guys water is in it. There's a moment's notice. Lopez did it right there.
Right.
I mean, how do you regulate your body? Because you could be playing for 45, 46 minutes if there's extra time.
Yeah, if you can sneak over, grab a quick drink of water, that's fine. You know, sometimes you'll see some outside backs or outside midfielders, in fact, maybe throw a water bottle on the opposite side if they're on the opposite side of the bench. And whenever there's an opportunity, maybe an injury or a ball goes out of play, if you get 30 seconds, go take a quick drink and keep moving. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be thinking you're not going to get a drink for 45 minutes.
And it's probably where some of the older players learn to regulate and really get aggressive when they have to. But Sacramento's been on the push the entire time. Shot on goal, right, a rebound. Tommy Stewart to the right side, offside. He had a great look. Good strike on the weak side.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Hat trick in the first half. He looked like he was just a bit offside, but Bartlemy coming up, showing his attacking prowess there, gets on his left foot, pulls the trigger, strikes the ball with his instep. Great save there by Lish. Tommy Stewart for the rebound, fortunately offsides, and also goes sails a little bit wide, so wouldn't have counted even if it would have gone in. But once again, Tommy Stewart, I love his mentality right now. He's on his front studs. He's thinking positively. Here's a shot, and Tommy Stewart tries to get it in with his right foot. Looks like off the outside of that post, but once again, he was offsides.
And all 6'4" of Michael Lish, Adam John offside.
Yeah, not by much, I don't think. It looks like, Pittsburgh, they're playing a pretty high line, and it's not the most organized high line where you have guys with these big gaps, which is a big worry, I think, for Pittsburgh, and a huge liability when you start thinking about it, how it just doesn't look like a cohesive back four. And you're going to allow, when you start playing like that, it allows a lot of gaps and guys to get in behind you pretty easily. And I think also a guy like Tommy Stewart, who does such a good job of picking off and finding those seams, he's the perfect forward to be playing tonight against these guys.
They gave him an extra minute, called the 46th mark. And so here we go. Into the half, an exciting 46 minutes here at Bonnie Field. Tommy Stewart with a header and another chip, and he's got 2 goals, and the Republic up by 2. We'll step aside, come back, and halftime interview, of course, and we'll talk to Joe Wagner, one of the heads of this Republic team, and all about the attendance and exactly how the success has gone so far as we embark deep into the second part of the season. That's all coming up here, so stay tuned. Sacramento on top by 2 goals. And welcome back, Rob McAllister, Kevin Goldthwait with you, and it's halftime. That means we are going to have a conversation with Joe Wagner. Joe, what do you think of this game? 2-0?
Exciting night. I mean, the nice crowd, even better score. So it's a wonderful night to be out at Bonnie Field.
And it's a little warm, but that's okay. We're Sacramento. We're used to that, right?
Absolutely. We're tough here. Indomitable spirit.
It's been such a fun ride so far, and it's incredible to think that we're only a few months into this whole thing.
Right.
I mean, we started talking, I know, a year ago about this whole crazy soccer thing. And I know you've done a few things, minor league hockey, football stuff as well here in Sacramento.
Baseball for a long time. So the Heat's nothing new to us baseball folks, but yeah.
So how does this compare? I mean, the soul soccer movement, this just feels something like it's different.
You know, I haven't been working in sports for 20 years. Never in soccer, but always being a soccer fan. You see it on TV, and you go, and you just don't know how it's going to translate in Sacramento. And he worked baseball here for a long time, hockey, obviously, in the city, and football here. Never would have dreamt that it would feel like this. And I think the main difference of this versus, love the Kings, love the River Cats. This is more of a culture. I think people coming to be part of the action. You come and you feel like you're on the field. Those guys actually represent you, and that isn't always necessarily the case in some sports. So never would have dreamt it would have felt like this. It would have been like this. People are amped like I've never seen them amped for something before in Sacramento, and it's a pleasure to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to the front office, which the staff you guys have put together to really kind of make it a cultural movement here in Sacramento. I think the city's just been waiting for something like this to come along. So credit to you guys for doing it. I mean, it's had to have been a challenge for you guys to kind of really initiate the city to the new team. And, you know, what are the challenges been so far, and how do you think they've been, how it's went over the last few months, really?
Well, you know, the major challenge first was getting people to believe in it. And, I mean, you guys were there at the beginning, and, you know, you start talking to potential owners and investors, and, you know, thank goodness there's a couple people sitting there in the VIP tent, and they believed. And it started with them, and you're talking with Warren, and I'll tell you, our owners and our investors, they're not just writing checks. They're doing that, but they're out they're selling it. They're spreading the word. They've got the fever like the rest of us do. Then you go in and, you know, it's Warren, and he's our big toe. He's Sergeant Halka. He's the president and owner, but also that guy wears it, and he gets things done in Sacramento. And from him it trickles down. You know, it was finding the right front office staff and getting people to believe. You know, Erica Bjork, Fred Mathis, Chris Nass, or you know, I can go down the list of people that are fantastic that we're lucky to have on board. But kind of calling them up and saying, hey, got something for you. Okay, what is it? It's Tier 3 soccer. And they're like, oh, and then we show them the plan, and then we take them to Portland and other places that we want to be. And it wasn't that hard, and people started to believe, because it's not just about a sport, about a small group of people. It's about a community. And this whole thing, I mean, if I were to wrap it up, you know, in one little bow, it really is Sacramento. It's a community effort. And after people saw Sac Soccer Day, it wasn't hard. It was getting to that point that was very hard. But
you're right. It's selling it initially, and everyone's thinking it's been so far kind of like out of sight here in Sacramento. What is soccer all about? What's this, you know, the movement that we're seeing?
Right.
And really seeing it firsthand in Portland and Seattle, all through the U.S. now. And I think from Warren down, you guys know exactly what the brand is and what this sport can bring to the city. Putting the right puzzle pieces in together, finding the right staff, putting the players out on the field. You guys have done a phenomenal job of bringing this to the public here. The city's totally embraced it, open arms. So kudos to you guys for doing such a good job. And as a soccer fan myself, a Sacramentan, I am thrilled to be here day in and day out, seeing this game and this sport being spread through the city.
And we're talking with Joe Wagner, and one of the founders putting this all together here at the Republic. What's next for you? I know the goal has been MLS.
Yes.
Are we on that path? I think people want to know, are we on the path to getting there?
Yes, the answer is yes. You know, we came in late. You know, the amazing thing about breaking the attendance record tonight and kind of, you know, coming up on the one-year anniversary of Sacramento Soccer Day was we were, you know, hey, lip service Sacramento might be in the mix, to you're one of three. You know, from everything we're hearing, 1 of 3, 1 of 5, but we're on a very short list. And we made no bones about it from the day, you know, we announced it at Hot Italian. We want to be Major League Soccer. And there were about 10 people, including you two, that kind of believed that this could actually be a thing. And now it's become, you know, it's a train with no brakes. It just keeps going and going and going and going. And it starts with, you know, drawing a lot of people, proving the market. Next part is, you know, showing that you've got local investment, a lot of local investment, which we're very proud of. There's more news to come on that. And then talking about stadiums, you know, this is fantastic for what we need to be right now. But we need to be able to get to 18 to 25, somewhere in that mix for MLS. So we control what we can control in the front office, minus Warren, and that's selling out Bonnie Field and making sure it's a fantastic environment for everybody that comes out. And so far, we've been very fortunate to take this ride along with you guys and everyone that's been a part of it. Very lucky.
And for you, it's I know so much time is spent, and I know the families who are involved in this too have probably lost, their husbands or their wives or brothers or sisters a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, it's such a there's that almost that startup feel to it that we get with so many of these tech companies out in the Bay Area, and I think that feeling is generated here, and people want to be a part of this. I think that is so great. So we do appreciate you taking time with us, and hey, congratulations on the attendance record. Orlando had it last year. They're going to be MLS next year. It looks like we're on our way here.
We'd love to follow in their footsteps, and just thank you to you two and everybody. It's a fantastic night. We should all celebrate.
All right, well, hopefully we'll celebrate with a Sacramento Republic win. Thanks, Joe. It's 2-0 right now. Tommy Stewart with 2 goals on the evening, and he has got a pretty good game going, I would say, Kevin Goldthwait, for the Republic. 2 goals, 2 assists, 6 shots on goal. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh just has not been able to get things moving. They had that initial attack. That surge was there for them. And then they have their MVP, Jose Angulo, go down. And out comes a big chunk of their offense. Meanwhile, Sacramento just seems to be playing a video game right now. This team is in sync. And this is probably the best we've seen them play at home all year long. Yeah, they're clicking right now. The organization, you got Tommy Stewart making great runs. First half scoring 2 goals. Almost a Tommy Stewart show, so to speak. But so far, so good. Clicking on all cylinders. The big test is now is going to be you come in for halftime, you break, the momentum absolutely dies and is going to change now. So what needs to be done here in the first half, or the first part of the second half, is going to be come out with some force, make sure that everything you do is positive, and continue, try to build on that momentum that you had and stay organized. I mean, that's the big thing for me is if I'm Preki in the locker room, I'm telling guys, stay organized in the back, don't concede, and go out and keep doing what you did in the first half. Just keep this thing going, keep this machine rolling on down the road. So we'll see what happens here as we kick off. And here we are underway. Chad Bartlome pushing, Tommy Stewart bracing, Adam John streaking toward the net, has a little bit of space. Great sliding tackle and a save by Earls. Yeah, good move. Tommy Stewart looks like he gets taken down by one of the Pittsburgh guys on top of the box, but good movement forward, kind of caught him off balance a little bit. John takes the ball down the sideline, gets a corner kick out of it. Now here we are, one of our dangerous positions here with Roro taking set pieces. And you got some big bodies in the box now with John, Vukovic, Daly. Daly's just lurking. As well. Daly breaking into the box. Clementa with a header. Looking for a counter, Pittsburgh. Sacramento wins it right back. Evans. Stewart was the target. Pushing forward, last to beat is Guzman. Breaking free is Kerr. Daly had to rush back, and great stop, but Guzman took a gamble, nearly lost it, and Jake Gleason was nearly in a one-on-one situation. Daly got back Kerr. Yeah, Guzman does take a pretty risky move there. Gets there in time, tries to win the ball, but, fortunately, here goes Stewart again. Stewart toying a little bit. Another diving play and a save. And just checking in is Matagalvin, Alfonso Matagalvin from Santa Rosa, California. And Alfonso played a little bit of everywhere, went to UC Santa Barbara 2005 to 2008, played with the Ventura County Fusion, Rochester Rhiners, and 10-11, Chivas USA reserve team. I mean, he's just been about everywhere, joined this club last season. And yeah, he was a part of that great squad at Santa Barbara during his time down there. Bit of a journeyman since then, but getting a run here, 45 minutes in his home, Northern California, so that's got to be kind of special for him. Hopefully he's got some family in the stands. And he replaced, really the guy who's going with his Joseph Nguyenwa, and yeah, interesting decision there. And as Nguyenwa was one of the guys that I was really looking forward to seeing here in the only last 45 minutes. Good ball by John. Let's see John get himself in the box. Stewart tracking. Martinez. And tumbling over Tommy Stewart just taking out Lish, and Lish did not take too kindly of it.
Not.
And Tommy Stewart, I don't think even saw him coming, and Tommy Stewart may have taken the brunt of it.
Good job by John there. That's where you want. You want him to get that ball played out wide, and I tell you what, he busted his butt, tried to get forward. Came fairly close to getting on the end of it.
So with Max Alvarez out, Roro striking from both sides of the corners today. Good ball in. Lish comes out. Maybe got a finger on it.
Yeah, Lish comes out solid.
Evans rears back. Puts a toe into it. Now Bartlome toying with it. A back header into the net by Pittsburgh.
Smart move there by Obadai, saving that, heading it back to his keeper.
Here's Dahlman. Dahlman's been very dangerous today. Nice move against Martinez. Guzman with the hustle, though, and a whistle blown. Kevin doesn't like it, but Mr. Goldthwait, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, a little soft there. I think it's a good effort by Guzman. He's working hard, doing what he needs to do, wins the ball, pokes it out for a corner kick, and ends up conceding a set piece here. Preki doesn't like it either. And these are dangerous. This is these little calls by referees, the decisions like this where, this is dangerous. And if a goal goes in here, it's a totally different ball game. Momentum absolutely shifts. So it's just one of these, times in games where officials really do have some influence on this stuff.
Earls with a bender.
I think bounces on the penalty spot there. That's dangerous.
Now Adam John flying out. Sacramento looks so sharp in the first half here. They're trying to replicate that here. They put the pressure on a couple of corners already.
The big thing is for Sacramento tonight in the second half is controlling the tempo. When things start getting a little bit quick, can they slow it down if they need be, and vice versa? When it slows down, can they take the pace up a level?
Tommy Stewart toying with it, deep into the box, makes one more move near the 6, off the crossbar, sends it higher, rebound, Roro.
Yeah, Lish looks like he got his fingertips on it, makes a good save, pushes it on the crossbar. There's Tommy Stewart once again being dangerous. Probably about 6 inches away from a hat trick tonight. And I don't think that's Tommy Stewart's strength, is going one-on-one with defenders, but he does a good job of cutting back to his left foot, drives it with his laces, and Lish comes to the table, makes a good save. Might have got his fingertips on it.
And just sailed high to the left. That ball with a little bit of curve on it. But
yeah, Stewart, though, that's a good effort, getting back on his left foot.
That's a fourth shot on goal for him tonight. He has been very aggressive, and a lot of credit. He's been out running. I mean, he has definitely not let this heat get to him. He has been the first one out of the box running.
And that's what I love. That's one of the things I love about Tommy Stewart is that he's always moving. He's always working. Look at peeling off on the back post again. He's feeling it tonight. Calling for the ball.
Collects himself. One-on-one play again. Martinez.
Oh, Martinez was caught between two minds there. Looks like he had a streaking John coming down the right side. And Martinez might have been in between. Do I shoot it? Do I pass it?
I think he saw the corner of his eye.
Right. So that's one of those positions and times during the game where you want to see guys be decisive. Just make your decision, go with it, and deal with the ramifications afterwards. But when you're caught between two minds like that, that's typically what happens. You end up flubbing your kick, goes out for a goal kick.
Dahlman now. Vukovic has to get back, skirts it to Gleason.
So here we go. This is going to be indirect kick. We got Vukovic playing the ball back to Jake Gleason. Jake Gleason picks it up with his hands. Here they're in a quick restart.
And
so they're arguing. You got Vukovic and Gleason. Gleason's probably coming out yelling keeper that he's got the ball. Vukovic plays it back to him, and before you know it, Gleason's got the ball in his hands. Very, very difficult and dangerous situation right here with Pittsburgh essentially on the 6-yard box with an indirect free kick. So this has to be touched before it can go into the back of the net. And you got guys on top of the box. The Republic needs to deal with the guys on the box, on top of the box. They got everyone in the goal right now. Guys, 2 or 3 guys need to come out and deal with people on the penalty spot.
Watch for that long header. Gleason directing traffic. They've got some size there. Gleason at 6'4".
So this is just going to be a quick touch and a strike. But what Republic needs to do is everyone needs to be as big as possible. And as soon as the ball's struck, don't go on your side. Just stay as big as you can.
Here's a quick little tap. Gleason comes out. Beautiful save.
Good job by Gleason. Good job by Gleason. Just diving in front of that thing, man.
You talk so many times about goalies picking the right moment to be aggressive. Another quick start attempt by Pittsburgh. The line stuck. Gleason came out, the lone soldier. Earls cross over the middle, nobody there, and here's Bartlome on the counter. Tommy Stewart, Adam John in the middle. Dumped it off to John. John pokes it,
Don't know what John's doing. Don't know what John's doing there. But, you know, let's go back to that set piece with Gleason coming out. That was actually really well dealt with by Sacramento. They did exactly what they needed to do. I think Gleason knew from the right from the start that as that thing's touched, he's going to come out. Here's a good counterattack opportunity. Evans does a good job. Play John here.
Here's John. John in motion. And John in stride with a bullet list with a great save.
Evans does a good job, wins the ball. I think Stewart might have tried to come out to win it. Evan tells him, no, keep going. And Stewart peels off. John goes on the right side. Good ball by Evans. Well played with a good weight into John. John takes a shot with his right foot and a good shot, good stop by Leash there.
Well, partner, you called it perfectly. That was the best chance for the Republic. And they continue to put the assault. Lish is having an afternoon here at Bonnie Field as he continues to be tested. Sacramento's back forward a little aggressive. They've come up, and now they probably need to sit back a little bit more with a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, and another play right here where Gleason picks that ball up. That was off Clementa's foot, but you know, technically by the rules there, it's got to be can't be an accidental pass back. It's got to be a direct pass from your player with intent to go to your goalie, so he can't pick it up. That's why Gleason was allowed to pick that ball up, because it didn't look like it was intended as a pass back as it came off Clementa's foot. And now it's a counterattack opportunity.
Roro has to slide to save it. Well, the sun is just about set behind us, and I think anyone who is staring right into it pretty happy here. As we, in the second half, Tommy Stewart with 2 goals. Here's a long shot, and I guess just giving it a whirl was Arteaga.
Good effort by I mean, I'm not necessarily the best effort by Arteaga. Trying to catch, here's his replay here. Gleason coming out big.
Arteaga, and watched half the guys, they did not want to get hit with that strike. Turning their face away, that would have been drilled in there. Gleason,
in that situation, that's pretty much all you can do if you're Pittsburgh. Get a quick touch, try to hit it as hard as you can, hopefully find a seam. There's no real opportunity for finesse, really. You know, I don't disagree with what they did, but I think Gleason just came up big there and made a good save.
Arteaga plays it off the bounce. Now Pittsburgh in the middle. Arteaga with a cross in the air. Way over the VIP field, but that was a pretty good ball by Arteaga.
Good ball in, thrown up a scissor kick there. Doesn't really connect as cleanly as he likes with it. But love the effort there. The ball's kind of behind him, and that's really the only way that you're going to get any power.
It looked like it was Kerr with a shot.
Yeah, I just got to put that thing on target. But that's a very, very difficult ball to strike cleanly on target.
Goal kick here by Gleason.
You know, and here we are. It's 2-0. I think we've played very well for the last 55 minutes, or the first 55 minutes of the game. But 2-0 is a very dangerous scoreline to have going in. I think we're feeling pretty confident, pretty comfortable right now. But I tell you what, one misplay, one counterattack, Pittsburgh scores, it's a totally, totally different game. I think they call 2-0, you know, the most dangerous score in soccer, because there is a complacency that happens sometimes, and it's very easy for the opposition to get themselves back into the game with one quick goal, and anything can happen. It can happen with a blink of an eye.
So you know Sacramento is tied to San Jose and Portland as part of the on-loan agreement. For Pittsburgh, it's the Houston Dynamo, and they're trying to solidify that relationship. Fairly new here. A couple of guys have been sent up and down quite often this season, and they blamed a little bit of that in the papers, that was the issue for the team's struggles early on. They just didn't have the continuity, the different lineups each and every match. Now they're pushing, and they've been a little bit more aggressive, but you've seen that, Kevin, during your time, the kind of the up and down shifting, and does it kind of mess with the guys' psyches a little bit sometimes?
Yeah, it's tough to deal with, and I think it really takes a pretty solid management group up front in the front office and the coaching staff to know that, you know, their responsibility is to make all the guys aware of their position on the team. But it's hard to get some the cohesiveness and the team to gel together as much as they possibly can when you guys got coming up and down. You know, they're with the team for 7 days, gone for 3. Back up for another 4 or 5. So it's just tough to kind of get some the cohesiveness together of a squad, which is vital when you're talking about, you know, playing 20, 25 games in a season.
Kerr, the intended target. Well, substitution there during the quick moment there with Seth Sidabaka, signed in 2012 by Pittsburgh, and has scored the game winner in his debut. So a guy who can put it in the net. But
Pittsburgh's
been sticking around since.
Pittsburgh's stringing some passes together and looking
Keeps it
dangerous.
on the floor. A quick tap. Gleason got to the deck quickly, and a nice save by the New Zealander.
Yeah, good positioning by Gleason there. Stands tall, puts himself in the right position, a good cross in. Like to see better distribution there, but good save, gets down quickly, holds on to it. Does what's needed. Quick little right-footed shot there. Gleason goes down, grabs it, scoops it up. Looks like Sidabaka getting back involved early in the game there.
Now pushing. Green, cross, high, Clementa, header.
Good job, Rowe Ryder, keeping that ball there. Sometimes you
Martinez.
see guys try to clear that ball, but when you have the ability to bring it down, no one's really around you for 10.
Adam John had to.
John was offsides there. Good play by him for not, getting himself involved in the play. Otherwise, the flag would have been risen and been called offsides. And Martinez with a little bit of a late run there, trying to catch Pittsburgh sleeping a little bit there. But once again, good job by Roro. I like the composure on the ball to bring it down on top of this 18-yard box.
Vincent floating, testing Bartlome a little bit here in the second half. We've seen the adjustments by Pittsburgh. It seems to be working. They've got a little bit better here on the offense. Better shots on goal, sent wide, partially deflected by Vukovic.
Yeah, so an interesting little spell here the last 5-10 minutes. Republic need to kind of slow the pace down, keep the ball. Now, this is what we talk about, controlling the pace. Pittsburgh's doing well, stringing some passes, getting some shots on goal. Jake Gleason coming up big, but now can we control the pace, control the momentum, keep the ball when we have it, and try to change this momentum that Pittsburgh's really kind of building right now.
Well, we've seen Michael Green come out a little bit more. He's been more aggressive. He's playing more front, typically a fullback. He's been giving the Republic a little bit of a trouble. Guzman, quick to Martinez. Martinez trying to get there before Lish can. Lish.
Yeah, Lish comes out strong, does a good job. I like to see Republic keep the ball a little bit more before they try to go forward.
Pittsburgh doing a little bit better job of spreading it around the park here in the second half as well. Trying to get it over the top. Lish trying to keep the ball away from his net. He's seen too much of it, I think, tonight. Too many great shots by the Republic.
Yeah, Lish has done well in the second half. Made two really, really good saves to keep this game within striking distance for Pittsburgh.
USL Pro standings, Orlando City at top with 46 points, 14-1-4 record. And then Richmond right behind him at 42. Galaxy 2, offside there.
Looks like it might have been out of bounds. Just curled just out of bounds there. But I tell you what, Bartlome's kind of caught in no man's land in that situation. He's not necessarily putting pressure on the ball, and he's not far back enough to kind of prevent that pass from coming in. So luckily he gets bailed out with the thing kind of just skipping out of bounds.
And then Sacramento 33 points, and then Pittsburgh with 20 points at a 5-10-5 record on the year.
I think Republic need to really push for that top four, finishing the season in the top four so you can get home field advantage as the playoffs start.
Here's
Bartlome, no man's land again there.
Dahlman finding Kerr. Kerr with a long cross. Arteaga, far side. Pittsburgh's been able to work their way deep into that right side, giving Chad Bartlome a little bit of trouble, but it's been Dahlman. Matched up with Martinez, out of play, Vukovic sends it. So we talked a bit about the MLS dreams per se, especially for Sacramento. And well, Pittsburgh has some of their own as well, as we'll have a substitution as Jissy will check in for Martinez. But they're looking to go 2023 as well. They're making a strong push. They don't quite draw the crowds in Pittsburgh as we do here in Sacramento, and they've been able to get their attendance started off about 4,500. It dipped for a while, back up a little bit in the brand new stadium that they play in near downtown Pittsburgh. But there's a lot of cities out there that want to be a part of MLS now.
Yeah, it's a pretty hot commodity right now, and a lot of cities are kind of pushing and trying to get themselves in front of Don Garber, their commissioner of MLS. But I tell you what, with the attendance that Republic's drawn here, I guarantee the front office of MLS with Garber, Abbott, those guys are taking note of what we're doing here in Sacramento and have to be impressed as we go, as Roro's on a little counterattack here. Tommy Stewart, good run.
Adam John, Tommy Stewart working the right side. John makes a move, a shot, laces, Jesse on the follow over the crossbar high.
John does a good job as Pittsburgh slips, falls down, gets it on his right foot. Would like to see John kind of get himself to be able to slot that in the corner. Rather, he hits it right at Lish, hard right there. Good save by Lish. Jesse comes up. Got to get your knee over that ball and keep it on target. That's actually a pretty good chance by Jesse. You can see he's kind of leaning back there.
So the youngster, 17 years of age. Good shot on goal within a minute of checking in for Martinez.
Yeah, you know, that's tough also. That's probably his first touch of the game. And he's got a ball bouncing about 14 yards out from the goal, but it's tough as the ball's bouncing up. He's got to get your knee over the top of that ball to bring it down and drive it down into the ground hopefully. But as you see, he's leaning back and ball goes over the crossbar.
Forget all the technical stuff. His eyes were probably as big as they've ever been.
Right.
Just hungry, thirsty, sitting there for him. Roro.
Yeah, going back to even Adam John's shot there, I would love to see him try to slot that in the corner. Maybe choose some accuracy over power there. As you see, really just tries to drive it with his laces. Maybe see him get his head up a little bit and try to find a corner.
And bad ball by Tommy Stewart. But I like how the Republic are working in the young fellow now. As we see Jesse come in. Now Gabe, he played with the New England Revolution Development Academy, and he has not had a lot of minutes here with Sacramento. Pretty much a veteran team that Preki and Graham Smith had put out here on the field. But you know what? Here's a chance for him to start really working with the front 11 and doing a nice job.
Yeah, Jesse looks like one of those type of guys. He's got a ton of potential. He's got all the physical tools needed. He's got good pace. He's strong. He's athletic. Now it's just trying to combine that, get him some experience here at a professional level. And you know, sometimes something like this would take a year, 2, 3 years before he can kind of really come into his own. The good thing is, in 2 to 3 years, he's going to be 19 and 20 years old. Still have plenty of years left.
Clemente saves it there.
Daly does a good job there to put a foot on it there.
From Liberia. That's going to be an offside.
He's on. He's on.
No, they said it's on. So nice shot by Lish. But just, you know, 17 years old, 6 feet, originally from Liberia, just graduating high school a few months ago. I mean, he's got a long way to go.
That's a long way to go, but we talked, what I mentioned earlier, he has the necessary tools.
Here's Adam John looking for Jesse.
A little bit longer. Jesse's making a pretty good run outside. Just John needs to maybe take 1 or 2 more touches, let that play develop a little bit.
The foot of Marshall. So the local tie, Andrew Marshall is actually the brother of Kristen Marshall. You might find on A Good Day Sacramento in the mornings on Channel 31. So there's a family affair happening in this place. There's more substitutions as Vincent will come off. And just added Mackenzie Bridham.
Just added very recently to the squad, getting some minutes right now.
Sacramento, 2 goals from Tommy Stewart here tonight. A header, assist from Mickey Daly, and then from Rodrigo Lopez. It all started with Evans to Martinez.
Jesse's pace here.
Jesse running. And that happened in the 33rd minute. Jesse nearly had a chance a few moments ago. Tommy Stewart has had a couple of other good shots on goal, nearly had a hat trick in the first half as well. He has looked so good tonight, but this whole Republic team has just been on point. They have made the changes, even as the adjustments from Pittsburgh. They continue to attack, looking for Stewart, working one-on-one, just a little bit too hard. Gets past Lish, trying to turn the corner, a little chipper, and oh, net! It somehow found a way! Tommy Stewart, or are they gonna call it offside? Finally, the whistle is blown, the flag goes high. Tommy Stewart with one of the most beautiful shots you'll ever see. Gets Lish to come out, but it just won't count.
Look at this. Dinks it far post his left foot again. He's got no angle there. Just tucks it right in the corner.
I don't know how that happened. Too bad it was offside.
I know. Look at Jissy playing himself in here.
And now Jissy giving a run.
Look
It's
at
the defender.
John.
Slow it down. Adam John up front. John with a move. Left foot. Saved by Lish. John gets back up. Looking for Roro. Roro blocked by Lish again. Roro still out with it. Shot on goal. Sacramento. Rodrigo Lopez gets in on the action. A wrong right foot. And Sacramento up 3-0 over Pittsburgh.
I tell you, Lish has to be gassed right now. I mean, that's 30, 45 seconds of him absolutely just running box to box, making a couple really good saves. Roro's class comes out in the end as he gets Lish to hit the ground again, gets back on his right foot, drives it. Open net essentially, but still, that's a difficult ball to stay over, keep his laces over the ball and his knee over the ball and strikes it on target goal. And Roro getting on the score sheet again. But Lish, that's got to be, you know, the most activity in the quickest little span he's ever seen. That was incredible. He did a very good job, made probably 4 solid saves. And Republic's just a little bit too strong in the end as Roro gets on his right foot and drives it in the net.
And Roro had to go high because Flunder was directly in front of his path. So Flunder was not able to get a header on it.
That was
Rodrigo
incredible.
Lopez with his 6th goal of the season. So Tommy Stewart and Roro started the game tied for the lead with 5 apiece on goals. And, well, I guess Tommy Stewart gets a couple, and Roro says, wait a minute. I'm not going to let you have this lead for very much longer. And now Roro trails by 1, and we've still got 20-plus minutes here to play at Bonnie Field. Kevin Goldthwait alongside me tonight, Rob McAllister. Appreciate you tuning in here. Sacramento has dominated the match. They have, whatever lessons they learned from the 3 friendlies against the Rangers and West Brom, they have applied it to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, the Riverhounds have really been the force that have had to deal with just the great play of the Republic tonight.
Yeah, you know, that's the goal, too, that I think really was going to separate, kind of give us a little bit of breathing room and some comfort as this match goes on. But I tell you what, the way Pittsburgh's back 4 is playing right now, there's going to be a few more chances in the next, 20, 25 minutes, depending on extra time. But there's going to be a few more chances with John and Stewart still up top, still running, being active. And like I said, I think there's going to be a few more opportunities here for Republic. So it's going to be a fun next 20 minutes or so.
And the crowd just went electric on that play. And an exciting turn of events as Jissy really started the whole thing kind of going a few plays earlier, and it just, the momentum kept it going. John with a good strike on it. And Lish, I mean, I think he covered about every single inch of that 18-yard box. Ortega working from the wing. Looks like it'll be a corner for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I haven't really called Ortega's name too much in the second half. He's got MLS experience playing with New York for about a year or so. A guy with, a great strike rate, a good finisher.
He signed a 2-year deal with Pitt here. You're right, he played with the Red Bulls. And
Sacramento's done a good job of containing him tonight.
headed by Guzman. And Ortega grew up in Connecticut. Went to Dominican College in New York. Stayed locally for quite some time, and now he takes a little bit west to Pennsylvania. Try to see if he can get back to the MLS level, but he's got to perform against top clubs like Sacramento. The Republic is showing MLS-worthy performance here tonight. Whistle blown, and one thing I've liked from the Republic too, the fouls have seemed to be a little bit drawn to a minimum tonight compared to what we've seen. Some of the match they've struggled. They really are not allowing the cheap stuff to get to them. They've played it very well. Little floater.
Good job by Clemente there. Just outworks his opponent.
Even with the speed, Clemente being very calculated. The Pittsburgh, this team, the Riverhounds, born in 1999. They played at a high school at Bethel Park for several years, and it was Paul Heasley, the owner, and it was part of the USLA League at that point in time. And so they've been around for 15 years now. They've had their ups and downs. And they now play at a Highmark Stadium in Station Square. It was built just last year. Very new facility. It can expand it more, but they hold up quite other few matches there. Rugby, the like, similar to what the Republic do here. A little bit bigger stadium here for Sacramento, however. And that goes a long way when you're pushing for that MLS card. Looking for Tommy Stewart.
Decent ball there by Guzman. Good effort, good idea.
Didn't even hear the cowbells a little bit tonight. Big thing that annoyed fans from visiting teams during Kings games about 10+ years ago. The old cow down moniker given to the capital city here in Sacramento, but the Republic, a new fan base of their own, the Tower Bridge Battalion, the supporter group. Here, 700+ strong just in their first year. They seem to travel fairly well. But the Steel Army that was created in 2007, it's I don't know, it's about 500 people here for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. We have the supporter groups listening tonight. We welcome you to our broadcast. It's a tough go for the visitors, though. We worried about Chad Bartolome early on, Kevin, and how he would fit in. It seemed that they poked at him a little bit, but it seems that he's done all right and held his own.
Yeah, you know, he's answered the call. Preki puts him at left back. Has done admirably at the least here tonight. So he's played well. You know, he's at the new task for him, something he's not necessarily accustomed to, but he's done a good job.
Dahlman's really put the pressure on. Dahlman is streaking out that right flank every time. Vukovic's done a nice job getting back as well. Helping Bartolome down on the end line. Tommy Stewart following it high. Little scissor from Jizzy. And here's Adam John. No flag thrown. Adam John with a pat. Gets a bump from Marshall. John back at it. John looking for a teammate. Here's Jizzy. Jizzy with a shot on goal. Keeps it on the floor. Easy save for List. Probably the easiest one he's had tonight.
Yeah, good effort by Jizzy. I'd like to see him maybe keep that ball.
Steal by Vukovic. Now he's on the run. Adam John will be offside if he doesn't get back here. And nice move by Vukovic. Vukovic had to take it away by Marshall. Marshall staying on his feet. And Marshall throws and hit in the face with Vukovic. No whistle blown.
Vukovic goes down pretty soft there, to be honest. Marshall gives him a little bit of shove. Okay,
he has a broken nose. I guess he'll come talk to you after the game, right?
Well, we got two guys. We got John and Vukovic over there.
And finally, the ball is sent out of play as looks like Vukovic is holding his mouth there. And now the fans giving a little word to Andrew Marshall down on the floor. Vukovic having a word with the official, Tyler Ploger.
Hey, Gabe, come throw this into me. I'll keep it over there.
Quick time for a little bit of water break for some of these guys as well. This game started out in triple digits here. 7 o'clock start time was supposed to help a little bit as it was intended for 5:30, and that would have just would have been 120, 130 probably on the grass. And a black jersey for Pittsburgh would have been a rough go-around. It's been all Sacramento tonight. Tommy Stewart, 2 goals. Rodrigo Lopez with a score as well. Jake Gleason, a little bit of trouble, pressing up, was brought him.
Good, Danny. Tell me earlier.
Quick throw in. Streaking Stewart.
Roro on the back post.
Here's Roro looking for him and just mistimed it.
Yeah, Dahlman does a great job tracking Roro. Good ball in by Tommy Stewart. But you can see there, Tommy Stewart not offsides on the throw-in, no offsides on throw-ins. Makes a good heads-up run.
Shuffling. Quick chip over the top. Arteaga sliding. The Republic want an offside call. They won't get it.
Yeah, Gleason thinks it's offsides. Goal kick anyways.
Jake Gleason, was played so well.
Here's a
little
replay.
tap. Just a tad late. May have been Dahlman with a quick toe on it as well.
Yeah, Dahlman does a good job just to, I think, distract Roro enough. I don't know if he got a toe on it. Roro maybe missed kicks, but, you know, I think the big thing is Dahlman working back, making it difficult for Roro to get his foot on the ball. But good ball in by Tommy Stewart, finding Roro streaking.
So far in the season, Sacramento now with 30 goals. They've given up 22. Pittsburgh, even with their dismal record, have scored 25. But they've allowed 33, and that's now 36 if you count this match, and that's been the problem. Lopez looking for John, but there was nobody there to follow. Clementa beat along the trim. For Sacramento here, Kevin, the last 17 minutes or so, game plan, what should they be thinking?
Well, right now, it looks like the game's pretty wide open. If you like attacking soccer on both sides, you see a lot of gaps, a lot of spaces that Pittsburgh's conceding here. Same with the Republic. You know, I think if you're being real objective here, I think we've given away too many opportunities by Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, they haven't capitalized on it. But right now, it's just end-to-end, really. And there's going to be more chances. Here's Jissy right now.
Jissy.
Offsides.
And he'll go over the head of Lish.
But like I'm saying, there's going to be more opportunities here in the last 10, 15 minutes of this game. Things are wide open. And if I'm Preki, I would want to start harping on my back five with Evans maybe, and just try to be as difficult to play against. And don't let people behind you. You know, start kind of maybe cementing yourself that this is a 90-minute match. Don't be complacent. You know, don't take your tune-out timeouts, and just try to stay as involved for the remainder of the match, because, you know, tonight, obviously, with us comfortably playing here, other nights, this is a good opportunity to practice being solid for 90 minutes.
And here's Brian Feckety of the University of Tampa, signed with Pittsburgh in March. He's now out on the park, getting some time against the Republic. Plant City, Florida. Long ways away from home here in Sacramento. Pittsburgh trying to get on the board. Daly and Vukovic have done a nice job holding down the middle. Chad Bartlome on the left side. It's been Emma Clementa on the right. Chad Bartlome here. Bartlome, Stewart. Stewart running. Here's Adam John trailing. Stewart trying to stay up on his feet. Not able to get it to John in time. Now he'll get a streaking Roro on the right flank. Takes it off the face. One step, two step, three. Out to Guzman. High over the bar.
Guzman.
Take a taste of it.
Yeah, you know, Roro's doing a good job cutting. Tommy Stewart makes a good run, finds Roro on the back post. Guzman needs to get his knee over that ball and find target. Honestly, it didn't even really look like Guzman wanted this ball. Roro doing some fancy footwork here. Nice cut again. Just sets it up on a T form, and Guzman can't keep it down and keep it on target.
A little bit of traffic. I think he's looking at John. Maybe thought he had to go over the top a little bit more and just drive that ball.
Yeah, it looked like he honestly just didn't necessarily want that ball badly enough for Roro to play it to him. Does a good job for, you know, trailing. Here's a nice counterattack opportunity here.
A little tap to the right side. Coming back, Dahlman. Clementa working it off the chest. Pittsburgh still working it.
Well done by Clementa.
And Feckety wants an explanation of why it's a Republic ball, but he won't get one. We'll score, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. All the latest standings and more news and notes about your Sacramento Republic as well. Been an exciting match here for the Republic. Tommy Stewart nearly with a hat trick, has 2 goals. Rodrigo Lopez has a score already, an assist as well. He has had some all-star type games, Rodrigo Lopez here at Bonnie Field. Great ball in. Running. Bridham. Out comes Gleason with a save.
Well done by Clementa, too. Good save by Gleason coming out, gets himself big. That's Pridham getting in there. You know, he's been in for about 20, 30 minutes now. as a substitution. And I'm sure that's what he was thinking when he wanted to get himself on the score sheet. But Gleason, and a turnover here for Roro.
Galvin coughs it up. Here's John now, turns the corner, slices through the defense. John.
Oh, John had Stewart and Roro there.
Look at Stewart with his hands on his hips saying, come on.
Give me a chance to get a hat trick here, buddy. Flick it my way.
But it goes to show just the skill of Rodrigo Lopez. When he was able to dump that ball off to Octavio Guzman, I think only us up here in the booth can probably see Guzman streaking somehow to the corner of his eye. It's a no-look pass for basketball. Just a quick tap over to teammate. It seems if you're playing with Rodrigo Lopez, you better always be ready for it.
Yeah, that's his specialty really, is his distribution, you know, and his mind for the game and his eye for the game is phenomenal.
Here's the cross. Decent ball in, lets it pop. Adam John, and goal! It just was so lazily done and tapped in. I think Adam John was surprised it was there.
Yeah, he just found the ball right at his foot. Throws his right foot out. Not sure if it was who was on the post in that situation. Lish was out of place with coming out off that corner kick. But nonetheless, as John get himself on the score sheet, we talked about it as the game's starting. We'd like to see, here's the replay. John goes up, doesn't go to him.
It just kind of dies there, and he's able to slice it through the legs.
It looks like Marshall. Marshall wasn't. I might have hit Marshall in the
there, and then Dahlman, and then Lish.
Yeah, Marshall hits him right in his thigh off the corner kick. John goes up, continues his run forward, falls to his feet, and does what's necessary. Puts it in the back of the net. So good, that's a poacher's goal is what we call it, with John just finding the ball at his foot with, 2 or 3 yards off the goal line, and does what's necessary, puts it in the back of the net.
And it is now 4-0 Sacramento. Guzman now pressing. He's running forward, trying to get his feet underneath him. Dumps it off to Roro. Roro pausing, a strike on goal! Into the net again! Sacramento is on a route. They've got 5.
Roro with a special strike there. He's done that before. That was the goal of the week, I think, of the last one a few weeks back. But Roro finding it on his right foot. Guzman does what's necessary, finds the playmaker. Roro takes a touch, gets some topspin on the ball. Watch him strike this thing. Knee over it, topspin on it. No chance for Lish in the back corner. Beautiful finish. Textbook, really, with Roro striking that ball. Very difficult to do on the run to get that thing to dip down like it does. It's so easy to have that thing kind of just sail off your foot, but Roro, so technical, does such a good job striking the ball, right foot, gets a little topspin on it, dips in the back post. Phenomenal finish.
Well, I was trying to look up and tell you how many goals Adam John had. Didn't even have a moment to. Well, John now has 4, but just like that, Tommy Stewart and Rodrigo Lopez are tied again for the team lead at 7 goals. Headed away, Vukovic. Good ball, Jesse kicks it out of play, and that's going to head to the parking lot. And you walk in here with 5. Tommy Stewart quickly gets up to 7, nearly has a hat trick. Rodrigo Lopez, and not to be outdone, he's had 2 of his own tonight, plus an assist. I mean, this is the second time he's done that here at home. A 2-goal game with an assist. Unbelievable.
Pittsburgh's essentially waving the white flag right now. I mean, they got so many gaps. They got 2 guys in the back, 3 guys in the back. I don't even know what formation they're playing right now because guys are all over the place. And Republic are just absolutely capitalizing on these mistakes and their complacency. Really, they're doing a great job. And honestly, we got 5 minutes to go here, and there's probably going to be a few more chances. That's how many gaps and seams that the Republic are able to find right now.
Pittsburgh put up a 5 spot on Friday night. I mean, this is a team that can score.
Right.
They're getting it right back and seeing what that tastes like.
Yeah, I think the organization of the Republic all day is just completely taking them off their game plan. And here they are, down 5. We still have a few minutes to go.
Tower Bridge Battalion cheering. Most of the fans tried to stick around. Some have left, said, you know what, I think I've seen about all the scoring they can take. This is exciting. Gleason having a good day, shutting out the Riverhounds right now.
This game's been wide open in the second half. And we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast too, is that I would like to see Republic have been a little bit more solid in the second half, but for them to put up a 5 spot here tonight, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for letting him get a couple balls in behind him. Here's Bartlome moving forward. I'm sure he wants to get himself in on the attack and enjoy what's going on up top with Stewart and John.
And beyond that, the team has played. I mean, everyone seems to have played their roles. Evans has played really strong in the middle. able to get it out to his strikers. Jissy now fighting for it. Here's another break by Sacramento. Crowd standing. Jissy pausing into the box. Makes one move, makes another. A little tap. Just missed the far post. Right out of an inch or two away from a goal. And Gabe Jissy tried to get one in there. A little sneak move. Was able to juke his defender. Could not get it to go.
Yeah, I want to see Jissy be a little bit more, as he's coming up, good effort with the right foot, tries a little dink, but, you know, he's got Tommy Stewart earlier. He needs to be more decisive. Needs to be more decisive, needs to go at the defender, make him commit, make a decision. You have Tommy Stewart on your right side. As soon as that defender commits, you can either play Stewart or take him on one-on-one, try to cut him and get a shot off. It looks like he was just a little bit too slow there.
And Gabe Jissy, that would have been his first goal on the season.
I would love to see him get on the score sheet tonight, too. I think that'd be great for his confidence.
He only had one shot on goal coming into the night. Well, he's got two now. Pretty good looks.
Yeah, it's one of those where he looks like he's caught between 2 or 3 minds there, not sure what exactly what he wants to do. And I think that's just his inexperience and his youth showing there. But once again, next time that situation happens, hopefully he learns from that mistake and can be the one that's decisive and makes that defender commit either one way or the other.
Tommy Stewart with 2 goals in the first half. Rodrigo Lopez, Adam John, and Lopez again here in the second.
Clementa's been solid tonight, too, defensively. This might be his best performance defensively one-on-one that I've seen. Back four's played okay, but Clementa is my guy in the back right now that seems to be doing his job. Every task that's thrown at him, he's answering it, and it's just been a pest to deal with and made some good giveaway here by Bartlome.
Bridham squeezed, sandwiched by Rodrigo Lopez and Chad Bartlome. Guzman in the middle. I'll tell you what, Kevin, everyone has played so well tonight. I don't know if there's a weak link out there.
Yeah, that's the momentum coming out from that West Brom game last Monday. Momentum and confidence that I think that we wanted to see tonight, and we absolutely did see it with these guys.
They've just put the ball on point every time. It makes the game so much easier.
Yeah, and you know, this is something that could really kind of springboard your squad going forward here, the playoff push we've been talking about. Get their confidence going. Have them feeling good after that West Brom game. Coming in here tonight, putting up a 5 spot, and hopefully their confidence going into the next few games is going to be high, and hopefully they'll be able to get some results, get some points, as every point that we have here moving forward is going to be absolutely vital to where we're going to end up in the seedings for playoffs.
Well, 2 minutes of extra time here, and pretty much run out on Pittsburgh tonight, but
yeah, I think
Sacramento has just come in a blaze, has put up some serious points, 5 on the year. And they have just been probably the best collectively we've seen them all season long.
I think Pittsburgh's probably ready to get on the plane, get out of town. I think this might be the end of their road trip, get home, regroup.
They're going to host LA Galaxy 2 in their next matchup. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, they're going to head south and face Arizona United. Trying to look, I don't know if they put up a 5 spot yet this season here, Kevin. We look at the goals, I think 4 was the most, and that was here at Bonnie Field. It was a 4-3 win over against the Colorado Rapid Reserves on June 20th. So this is the highest amount of goals Sacramento has scored in a single match this season. And guess what? It sets a franchise record as well.
Absolutely.
See, anytime you have the first year of anything, it sets a lot of franchise records.
A lot of records, yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable. Sacramento with 5 scores tonight. 2 each from Lopez and Stewart. Jissy almost had a chance. And now they're still pushing. They could get one more. Jissy, Stewart, and John all up front. Dumped it off to Lopez, and I think they're going to pull it back. And Smiley play, and that's it. There's the whistle. You can hear the crowd.
The guys are tired, too. Everyone's still sucking one hands on the knees. Pittsburgh, I'm sure, is ready to get out of here. But you know what? Republic looked great. Different class all night. Put out a good performance. Came in strong, scored in the first 5 minutes. And continue that and let it roll until here we are, end of the match. Republic 5, Pittsburgh 0. So good result. Great effort by Republic tonight. I'm real happy with the way they played. I think it's very impressive. And hopefully they keep this momentum and keep this confidence going into the next match.
5-0. And I think we came in tonight, we knew the Republic were going to play well. You got the sense that they had a good test. They had picked up maybe a few tricks from West Brom. They realized maybe things they could get away with, and that's always why you play a better team. And they came out very physical. I like to see that. But beyond that, their passes were the crispest we've ever seen this season. I mean, they were on point all night long, and I think it would be really hard to pick out one single player who did so well. Tommy Stewart stands out in my mind, but Rodrigo Lopez again. And I really like the way Evans played tonight. I mean, there's a lot of guys you could pick out and just say they play well. Everyone did their job today, and I think this is what Coach Preki wants. This is a team effort, a team win, and it's really hard to say that you had one guy really stand above the rest.
Yeah, so we'll go by positions. Forwards, I think, man of the match, Tommy Stewart. Midfields, Roro. In the back, I got Clemento. So we got 3 man of the matches tonight. All played really well, and it's always a good thing when you can't decide who's going to be the man of the match. He's got too many guys playing well tonight, and we did see that. Roro gets 2 goals. Tommy Stewart gets 2 goals. But even going back to, I think, the front office here at Republic, you know, the scheduling of these friendlies sometimes can be pretty difficult to deal with because you're just throwing games in. There's 3 friendlies in less than a week, so you have 3 extra games. But I think right now, what we saw tonight was a direct result of the Republic scheduling those friendlies, getting some good quality competition coming here, playing against sides that are a little bit better than what they see typically day in and day out. And anytime you get a chance to go 3 consecutive games against squads like that, I think it ups your level and you see those guys, how they play and what kind of, you know, things that you can take away that they do well. And I think that's a great job by the front office for scheduling these friendlies, picking the right teams to play against. And I think it really kind of upped these guys' confidence and hopefully the momentum, I say it again, the momentum needs to carry into the next game and see how Preki can kind of deal with that as the next week goes with training.
And Coach Preki out there congratulating his team, the players going and saying thank you to the Tower Bridge Battalion, Chad Bartlome, a little bit of dance moves as well. You can see in the very corner of your screen there, just out of view. But the last night we'll have the midway behind us as well, Kevin, as the fair has come to an end. And it looks like we're going to go down to the field here momentarily with Scott Marsh, who's standing by with Octavio Guzman.
Guzman, our body player of the game, and what a rebound tonight. Obviously, you had the 3 friendlies, some tough competition, but tonight you kind of took it out against Pittsburgh and getting the important USL victory.
Yeah, of course. Our goal is to make playoffs, so, you know, any league game counts a lot for us, so we got to give it our all. And with a couple injuries and players being suspended, we just fought the whole game, and we're lucky enough to get a good result for us.
Yeah, you were a few men down coming into this game tonight. Pittsburgh came in, and they've been playing pretty good soccer, but you certainly put it to them tonight here at Bonnie Field. Just talk about Tommy Stewart and Rodrigo Lopez, both of them with 2 goals tonight, and they certainly just had great efforts.
Yeah, really great effort by those 2 guys, leaders of the team, and they certainly showed it tonight, and just happy to have them on our side, scoring 2 goals apiece.
Absolutely. Talking with Tavo Guzman here. As you guys played 5 straight at home, it was a tough month here in July, not only with the competition, but the weather. But you guys, you held up. You held up tonight.
Yeah, and also thanks to the fans, too. They give us a lot of energy, so it just keeps us going. We want to fight for every single fan, and that's all.
Absolutely. Now it's kind of the stretch run. You've got 7-8 games left in league play. You head out on the road before coming back against Oklahoma City on August 9th. Talk about going out on the road.
I mean, we're really focused. We really want this. Every player in the team wants the championship, so we're focused. We're ready.
All right, congratulations on the big win tonight for being our Bonnie player of the game, Tavo.
Thank you.
All right, Tavo Guzman, everyone. Back up to you, Jamie.
So very easily pick anyone on the team tonight. I mean, Jake Gleason, probably, I mean, not to Jake's fault, he really didn't get the ball very much tonight. And that's a good thing. So,
you know, and he did make a couple good saves, though, which is great to see.
And the one was on the free kick.
Right, absolutely makes a good save. Gets down to his left on one just before that as well. Makes a good save. And he came out strong or later in the match, and I think it might have been McKenzie getting in there, challenging Jake one-on-one, answers a call. And, you know, every goalkeeper during a match, during the game, he's going to get called upon 2 or 3 times. And it's tough for those guys because you're so dormant for the 90 minutes, and really you only get about 30 seconds of solid action. And to be able to kind of tune yourself in quickly to make those saves, it's much more difficult said than done. And Jake answers the call tonight, puts out a good performance, as well as the rest of the squad.
And what a great effort by the Tower Bridge Battalion over the last several weeks here, as we've had a match nearly every other night. And they have come out screaming. Their voices held up, too. We didn't know how that was going to go, but I think they did okay. Cool beverages, hot weather, didn't matter. They were out, and thanks to all the fans have come out and made this so far such a special season. This was the 11th sellout of the year. Only 2 games did not sell out. One was 17,000+. One was 7,400. So I really appreciate everyone for able to continue to put forth their money and their effort and their time and to make it out here to Bonnie Field as they set the season attendance record for USL Pro regular year, 118,107 fans. And Orlando City had the record last year. We still got 5 more matches to go. So this could be definitely not only just a franchise-setting record, as we talked about, but obviously for the league as well. So on behalf of the Sacramento Republic FC, its coaches, players, and staff and owners, I want to thank you for your spirit and support to make this a great season. Glory, glory, Sacramento. And Kevin, it's a fun night when you win 5-0.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
Absolutely. It's one of those, you go in after the game for your post-game chat, and there's really not much that's going to be said. But once again, I think it's going to be on Preki and the coaching staff to keep these guys going, keep them to be as tuned in and not get complacent with this result, thinking that, that resting on those laurels of this win tonight. You got to go out there, continue to work hard day in and day out. And I think that's Preki and the coaching staff's job, which is an easier task said than done. So hopefully they can go out there and do that, continue this, and hopefully see them back here August 9th for the next home match here at Bonnie Field.
Should be fun. Couple of weeks off for us here. And we'll be back. Make sure you tune in for that match as that's coming up. 5 more matches to go here at Bonnie Field. If you don't have tickets, get on it early as we work into the season, because you're going to be first in line for the postseason as well as this team. Surely, if they keep playing like this, not only will have a home game, may have a couple in the postseason. So you may want to check that out. So August 9th, Oklahoma City coming into town. Republic have lost twice to them this year. They're going to be looking for some revenge. Before that, Arizona United next weekend. And then we have Wilmington, Charleston, Oklahoma again, and then finishing out the year versus Los Angeles, and that's going to be on September 6th. We want to thank our entire broadcast crew, everyone, helping making this possible. Our producer, E, of course. For Kevin Goldthwait, I'm Rob McAllister. Enjoy your work week. It's a Sunday night. It feels like a celebratory night, but I guess a lot of people got to go to work tomorrow. But that's okay.
Okay.
We'll deal with it. Have a great night, everybody. A win for the Republic. It's 5-0. 2 goals for Tommy Stewart, 2 for Rodrigo Lopez, and 1 by Adam John. Jake Gleason with another shutout. A great night of soccer here in the capital city. Good night, everybody.